You know how some people say good luck, but their face looks like they hope it does not work? That is not hate. That is not even something they planned. It is something quieter, something that lives right behind a smile and only comes out for a second before they hide it again. It has a name. And today, you are going to learn exactly what it looks like. Here's the thing about the person who secretly envies you. They do not want you to fail. They just want you to not do better than them. And that small difference, that tiny little gap, is where everything gets complicated. Because it means they will smile at you, root for you, sit next to you, and still quietly do 4 very specific things that work against you without you ever being able to prove it. Let me show you what those 4 things are. Number 1, they never say you worked for it. They always say you got lucky. You hit a goal, something you worked on for a long time, something that cost you sleep and stress and more failed attempts than you want to count. And when you share it, they respond with something like this. Wow, good timing. You were in the right place. That kind of thing just falls into place for some people. Must be nice. Notice what is missing. They never say you worked hard. They never say you were consistent. They never say you earned it. It is always the timing, the luck, the circumstances, the connections, something outside of you that made it happen. And here is why they do this. It is not random. If they admit you worked for it, they have to sit with a very uncomfortable truth, that they could have worked too. That the thing standing between them and their goals is not luck or timing or who they know. It is them, their choices, their consistency, their willingness to keep going when it got hard. That is a painful thing to face. So instead, they rewrite your story. In their version, you did not build anything. You just got handed something. You were lucky. And luck is random. Luck does not make you better than them. Luck just means you were standing in the right spot. And that story protects them. It keeps the scoreboard even in their head. Watch for the person who always, every single time, finds the external reason for your success. The job, the money, the relationship, the body, whatever it is, in their telling, you did not earn it. Something or someone outside of you just handed it over. They are not talking about your life. They are managing their own feelings about their life. Your hard work is the most dangerous thing they could ever admit is real. Number 2, they introduce you to people in a way that makes you sound smaller than you are. This one is so quiet, most people never catch it. But once you see it, it will stop you cold. Every time this person introduces you to someone new, they choose the least impressive version of the true things about you. Not lies, just the smallest truth. This is my friend. They do some content online. Meanwhile, you have built something real and meaningful online. This is my friend. They are in between jobs right now. Meanwhile, you left a job on purpose to start your own thing. Oh yeah, they tried that. It is still pretty small. Meanwhile, you are growing steadily and proud of the progress. They did not lie, but they built the smallest possible picture of who you are, handed it to someone new, and watched you have to either correct it awkwardly or just let it stand. And here is what makes it so hard to call out. When you say something, they act confused. What? I was just explaining what you do. I did not say anything bad. You are being sensitive. But you know what you heard, and you know how it felt, like you had to apologize for existing in full. This is one of the most specific signs of hidden envy, because it only happens with people who feel something when they talk about you. People who have no feelings about you introduce you normally. They say the thing that is most accurate. They let you be who you are. But the person who envies you has a small invisible need to make sure the first impression someone gets of you is not too impressive, not too far above what they themselves are presenting to the world. Because in their head, you being introduced as successful means they are being introduced as less than you, and they cannot allow that in a new room. So they trim you, they edit you, they hand the world the smallest version of you they can build from true parts. Pay attention to how people talk about you when they do not think you are listening, and pay attention to how they introduce you to people who do not yet know who you are. That is where a person's real feelings about you live. Number 3, they turn completely random things into a competition. This is the one that will make you laugh and feel sad at the same time, because it makes no sense when you first look at it. You mention you had a really good meal you cooked. They immediately tell you about the meal they made last week that was even better. You say you have been sleeping really well lately. They tell you they have been sleeping so well for months, like sleeping is something you can win. You lost some weight. They mention they lost more, faster, without even trying. You got a new piece of furniture. They got a bigger, better version 2 months ago. You mention a book you loved. They read it years ago and also read the sequel. None of this is a competition. You were not competing. You were just talking. But somehow every simple thing you share becomes a moment where they have to be equal or ahead of you. To someone carrying secret envy, every area of your life is a potential gap between you and them. And gaps are dangerous. Gaps mean you are ahead. Gaps mean they are behind. And being behind in any category, even a category that means absolutely nothing, feels like losing. So they race, constantly, without you even knowing you entered the race. The tricky part is they usually do not even realize they are doing this. It is automatic. The moment you say something that sounds like a win, even a tiny personal win, something in them fires immediately and they reach for a counter. And you end up leaving conversations feeling strangely exhausted and slightly smaller, like everything you said got measured and found lacking, even though nothing bad was said. That exhaustion is a signal. It means the conversation was never really between two people. It was a scoreboard. Real conversations with people who love you do not feel like that. They feel easy. You share something good, they feel good for you. No counter, no race, just two people being happy together. When talking to someone always feels like you are accidentally competing for something neither of you ever named, that is envy running quietly in the background. Number 4. They want to know your plans before they happen. After they happen, they stop caring. This is the one most people completely miss, because it looks like genuine interest at first. Before you do something big, they are very curious. They want all the details. Wait, tell me more about that. When are you starting? How are you going to do it? What is the plan exactly? They seem engaged. They seem invested. They seem like they care about what you are building. But then you do the thing. You start, you launch, you take the step, and suddenly they go cold. The questions stop. The curiosity disappears. They barely bring it up. If you tell them how it is going, they give you a flat response and move on fast. And you are left wondering, I thought you were interested in this. Why do you not want to know how it is going? Here is what was actually happening. They were not interested in your success. They were interested in your plans before they became real. Because plans can still fail. Plans can still fall apart. Plans are easy to quietly discourage or gently poke holes in. That sounds really hard to pull off. Have you thought about what happens if it does not work? I tried something similar once, and it was a lot. Their curiosity before you start is not support. It is intelligence gathering. They want to know what you are doing so they can either get ahead of it, copy it in a different direction, or position themselves to not look behind when you launch. And once the thing is real and out in the world, and people can see it, there is nothing left to manage. The moment passed. They miss the window to influence it, so they stop asking. This pattern is one of the clearest signs because it is so backwards from how genuine support works. Someone who truly wants you to win is more interested once you start, not less. They want updates. They want to celebrate the small wins along the way. They want to be part of the story as it happens. But the person with secret envy wanted the story before it existed. When the story became real, their interest left with the uncertainty. If you have someone in your life who is always very curious about what you are about to do but never really asks about what you already did, you have just found the pattern. Here is what all of this comes down to. The person carrying this envy is not fighting you. They are fighting a version of themselves they are ashamed of. They are not reacting to who you are. They are reacting to who they have not yet become. And you cannot fix that for them. No amount of shrinking, no amount of being smaller or quieter or less. Nothing you do will resolve something that lives entirely inside them. The only move you have is to stop narrating your plans to people before they are real. Let your results speak once they exist. Protect your ideas until they are already done. And pay close attention to who shows up after the win, not just before it. Those people are the ones worth keeping. Here is the thing nobody tells you about envy. You cannot fix it in someone else. You cannot love it out of them. You cannot shrink yourself enough to make it go away. The only thing you can do is see it clearly. And the moment you see it clearly, it stops having power over you. Because now you know what the face behind the smile is actually saying. And knowing that changes everything. Not how they treat you, but how much you let it touch you. Keep building, keep going, keep being exactly who you are. If this hit different for you, share it with someone who needs it, and drop a comment telling me what you think. I read all of them. See you in the next one.